making for our country, making our country strong and free in the USA and around the world. Thank you, MP Sport and the game. On the takeoff roll now. This is the Pitts biplane. And as we go back in time, we actually will go back to the 1940s when a gentleman by the name of Curtis Pitts built an airplane that was just for him. A very small biplane with a very, very, well, a gentle motor on it, I'd say. It was maybe about a 65 horsepower motor on it. But the design got everybody to this little biplane, some manufactured, his some manufactured factory for the put bigger motors on it. They make two-seat versions. And what we're seeing today is a demonstration of the Pitts biplane. But look to your right, if you will, please, as we welcome to our show the one and only Rooster Schmidle. Bob Schmidle is a gentleman who has flown over 25 different types of military aircraft. He is retired from the United States Marine Corps. But believe it or not, this is a guy who flew F-18s, F-4s, and so many other types of airplanes. But today he's in a Pitts. And Bob Schmidle is a retired lieutenant general, a 3-star general from the Marine Corps, and now he's doing some gyroscopic flight in this little Pitts biplane where he instructs others and demonstrates in competition and air shows his abilities to fly this remarkable plane that's been around since the 1940s. Let's watch Rooster Schmidle here at Cherry Point. Bob was the commanding officer of Fighter Attack Squadron 251, the Thunderbolts, which was deployed aboard the USS America and was selected for an extraordinary second operational command of the Marine Fighter Attack Squadron 115, the Silver Eagles. He's flown the F-5, the A-4, the AV-8 Harrier, the F-16, the British Typhoon, and numerous helicopters, including the Osprey. And right now, he'll throw it upside down and upright with a 2-point hesitation roll. A Top Gun graduate with over 6,000 hours of flight time, 4,700 of them in tactical fighters, primarily the F-4 Phantom and the Hornet. They're demonstrating the tail slide where he backed it up. He'll get it up to about 175 miles an hour. He gets to the right-hand side of the box, yanks back on that stick, puts it back into his lap, and over the top. Now, as he comes down the 45, watch him. 2 points of a 4-point hesitation roll into the upright position. And on the other side, completing the 1/2 Cuban 8, that maneuver was actually invented by accident in 1936 at the Miami Air Races when a pilot by the name escapes me right now. I can't believe I'm missing his name. But the pilot was too low at the top of the loop to complete it safely. And rather than making a smoking hole in the ground, he did what Bob Schmidle did and did 5/8 of a loop upright. flight did the same thing in the mirror image. Len Povey was his name, and Len Povey was also training the Cuban Air Force pilots to fly aerobatics, and nobody had seen the maneuver. They asked him after the show, what was that figure 8 thing you did? He replied with 2 words in Spanish, Ocho Cubano, Cuban 8, and the name stuck. So that's one of the maneuvers that Rooster is doing here. He gets over the top and squares it off for his version of a square loop. When General Schmidle was still active duty, he planned and led the largest Marine Corps strike operation of Desert Storm on the first night of the war, earning the Distinguished Flying Cross with a combat fee for valor. He's also raced at the National Championship air races in Reno, Nevada, flying his single-seat Pitts S2B. And he flies out of Leesburg, Virginia, west of Washington, D.C. He'll hold it upside down, and he'll push a little bit, holding it inverted all the way across the show line. This is a guy who's earned it and done it all. Put your hands together for Rooster Bob Schmidle, Lieutenant General. Generating nearly 0 lift as he does the knife edge pass. No way that Rooster isn't having a boatload of fun out there. With a 260 horsepower motor on the front of this little Pitts. And he has completed his demonstration. He's been given permission to land. He'll be landing on runway 32 right. By the way, some people might ask, when you've got runway 32, what does that mean? Well, if you were to walk out in front of us with a magnetic compass and put it down in the middle of the runway, you would find that it is aligned with respect to magnetic north of 320 degrees to the northwest and 140 degrees, its reciprocal or opposite direction to the southeast. And runways all around the world are numbered the same way, so pilots, no matter where they are, will understand the runway numbering system and land on the correct runway. That is true for all but 4 runways in the world. And those other 4 runways were located in the Pacific, where B-29 bombers during World War II operated on their bombing runs over Japan. And those runways were Able, Baker, Charlie, and Delta. But those runways are now closed. So if it's 320 degrees, like it is here, you lop off the last 0, get it to the nearest 10 degrees.